Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. First of all, Merry Christmas. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. I thought that it would be really fun to reflect back on 2022 and everything that I've accomplished, things that I've achieved, goals that I've met, and then kind of just look into the new year. It's going to be 2023 soon, like in the next week. Just seems like just yesterday I was still a gate agent at Frontier and everything, and I just feel like this year has really flown by, but it's also taught me so many things and I'm so grateful for this year. So I hope that we can together reflect back on this year. I hope this brings you inspiration by the end of this video as always. So let's get into it. So looking back in January of 2022, I had just moved out of my very first apartment. It was really hard for me because I was also leaving my very first dream job. I was working with planes, I was a gate agent at Frontier, and I had just got into the flight attendant program with Frontier. So a lot of things were changing. I had just gotten out of my dream job and moving, so I moved back to my mom's house, and then I did an interview for my dream job as a flight attendant for Frontier, and I got accepted into that. I quit my gate agent job and traveled all the way to Wyoming, and I didn't end up completing it. One thing that I reflect back on that, it was a little bit of a failure, but I also tried the best that I could, and it was honestly really heartbreaking. I ended up actually being a flight attendant this year, which I accomplished my lifelong dream. So I came back to Colorado after that, and I was honestly really heartbroken. I was out of a job for a while, but I had made some really nice friends at the training, which are still some of my friends to this day. I had progressed more on my YouTube channel. I think I gained about 300 subscribers just this year, which was so amazing. And I'm so grateful for all of that. Right before I quit my job at Frontier for the gate agent, me and my mom went to San Diego and we had a great time there. So then fast forward to going to the training. Like I said, I was so excited. I couldn't wait to go. I was going to train for my dream, and then it just didn't end up working out with that company. So I came back home. I was out of a job for a while. Upset because I couldn't see Justin Bieber when I was in training. He came in March. I actually ended up getting to see him. I got into dog sitting. I got into meditation. Got into yoga. Me and my therapist hit our 3 or 4 years that I've been seeing her, and she honestly has helped me so much in life. So that was really special that I got to hit that milestone May of 2021. So I had been interviewing in April for a regional airline called Republic Airways, and I had got in and I was so excited, and training was May 5th. I went in and I ended up getting my wings for that company. I completed the training. It was honestly one of the hardest things I've ever gone through, but I was so proud of myself. I actually ended up catching COVID this year as well, and it was seriously probably one of the most painful things I've ever been through. Like, my throat felt like it was on fire, but I also overcame that. I made so many great friendships through the flight attendant training that I was in, that I actually got my wings for. I ended up going to over 45 cities this year, which was so amazing. I got to see all these different things. I got to like ride in the cockpit when the pilots had to use the bathroom. I got to meet so many people. I've met like lifelong friends, made so many connections. I've actually met some of my current friends now on airplanes from traveling. So I've made so many great friends this year, and it was just so special to like be able to finally live my dream. And I passed my OE after that, so then I moved all the way across the country to Boston by myself with my mom's help. But I was out there alone for 3 or 4 months in Boston. I've never lived in Boston before, so that's a really big accomplishment this year. I even moved to a new city. I made a lot of good friends there. I got to like see so much of Boston. It was like actually a really pretty environment down there, but I just didn't really enjoy Boston, like the people down there, because people on the East Coast can be a little bit different than Colorado people. But it was honestly like such a big like learning experience and like such a big like growth thing for me because I was on my own in a new city. I also turned 21 this year, so that was really fun. It's not really a big accomplishment. I made it to 21. So I've had a lot of interesting experiences this year with being 21, but it's all been learning and it's all been fun. And then I also moved to Indianapolis. So I actually moved to 2 cities this year. That company didn't really end up working out for me. I kind of wanted to move away from the regional airline and go to a mainline, and I've always wanted to go with United or American, something bigger. I mean, the The regional airline was great. It was a great starting experience. It like put me in the door. So I'm so grateful that I got to like travel and go to the ocean and see Times Square. Like I've never seen Times Square before. This year I got to see Times Square. I made so many great friends. I got to stay in all these cool hotels, meet so many great people. Got to spend 3 days in Michigan, and then I spent like 72 hours in Jacksonville, Florida, and went to the ocean and made friends there, and all my stuff went into the ocean the time that I went down there by myself. But you know what, it was totally worth it, and it was such a beautiful experience, so I'm so glad that I got to experience that as well. So then I moved from Boston to Indianapolis because just stuff wasn't working out in Boston anymore. If you guys watch my old videos, you would know. Basically, I mean, there's a whole story behind that. I think it's under like I am homeless, like literally I'm homeless. I go through all of it, the whole story in that video. So then I ended up moving to Indianapolis, and then that didn't really work out. I had a friend of mine, she was also a flight attendant for the same company, offered me to live in her house with her family, which was so amazing, and I was so grateful for that. It just didn't really end up working out either. So I moved back home to Colorado, and it was a really, again, heartbreaking, heart-wrenching experience because I had my dream and I was giving it up, but I knew that I wanted to move on to something better. So I was upset, but I started immediately getting back out there. I applied for American Airlines and I got hired for them, and I'm now going to training January 18th for American, and this is my dream. Like I'm literally about to live my dream again, and I just can't wait. I think some of the things looking back that I could have possibly done better is be more patient. I struggle with patience so much. I think that I could have been more patient just with life, and I guess more accepting of like the situation that I was given, and kind of just not really looked at it as in such like a negative way, because moving out to Boston was really hard, but it was also super cool. Like I was trying to be the most patient that I could, but it was honestly one of the hardest things that I've ever done. So this new year coming up, my hopes, dreams, goals, everything. So obviously the first one is to pass my flight attendant training, move to wherever they need me to, and be able, I want to stay with this company for the rest of my life. Like I want to be a flight attendant for them or a different company for the rest of my life, but it is like my goal to stay with this company until I retire, because they're a great company. They're huge. They fly all over the country, all over the states, all over the world, and I get to see so many cool things. So that's my #1 goal. My next goal is to work on patience, as I mentioned in this past year, because I'm a very impatient person, prioritizing my mental health, because I feel like this year I kind of like slipped away from it a little bit, and there were times where I would get really low and I didn't really prioritize what I needed, really. So I want to focus on meditation, yoga, and one thing that I really did get into this past year was running every morning and working out. Like it really made me feel good like the whole day when I ran or worked out. So I really want to make that like a routine every day. And I know a lot of people like have these New Year's resolutions and they never like really stick to it, but I really want to stick to it, just focusing more on myself. I tend to get so wrapped up in romantic relationships, and so I think I want to be focused more on myself than trying to like stray and go somewhere else or anything. Like I really just want to focus on my career this year. I want to change my spending habits and kind of like make it to where I'm only spending money on the things that I absolutely need, because I feel like this year I kind of like spent a little bit too much money on things that I didn't really need. It has been such a crazy year. It was just in January of this year that my whole life was changing. Like I moved out of an apartment, moved to 2 different cities, went to my dream job, didn't work out, then got my wings, then that didn't work out, then I moved back home, then went with a new company, and it's honestly like been so crazy. Like I've kind of just been everywhere. Like I really have got to experience the world, and I can't wait to experience more of it. And I'm honestly like just so grateful for all the people that I met this year, to spend another year with my family. But anyways, I hope you guys are all having a very wonderful holiday and happy new year. Woo! I will see you guys in the new year. I can't wait for what this year has to bring. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night or wherever you are, and I will see you guys very soon.